Welcome to Workshop Wasteland. If this is your first time being here, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, we are going to be machining the connecting rod for our PM Research PM1 steam engine. If you haven't checked out all of the videos in this build series, make sure you go to the playlist down below and check it out because it's been pretty darn awesome. Relatively straightforward piece to make. Not super difficult, but again, with it being a casted piece and small, it did make it kind of difficult to set up and hold it for all of the milling operations that we need to do. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know whenever I post a new video. And if you really wanted to support the channel, I'd love it if you would join my team. It's $4 a month. It's kind of like buying me a cup of coffee, giving me a little tip, and it would sure help out the channel. So what do you say we hop back to the milling machine and machine our connecting rod? Got the connecting rod set up here. I've already kind of indicated it in visually. Everything looks like it's going to work out pretty good. We're drill to tap it for 540, 750 apart, and just visually centered, and I think I've achieved that. So let's go ahead and get these holes drilled. This is a number 38 drill, which will go all the way through, and then we'll hit the top side of this cap with a 9/64. So I'm actually going to drill these with a 1/8 inch bit. A 540 screw measures like 121 thousandths. 1/8 inch is 125 thousandths, and 9/64, which is what it calls for, is 140, which means this cap's going to be pretty sloppy on there, and I don't want that. So, like I said, I'm going to drill this with a 1/8 inch. Plans tell you to hit this with a 7/32 end mill for a spot face for the screw head. I don't have a 7/32 end mill. Pretty good chance you don't either. I'm just going to buzz a 1/4 inch onto this and call it a day. Just needs to be flat for the screw to sit nice and flat. And of course, while we're here, let's go ahead and tap these 540. That's fine, the screw slides into there, even though there's a little bit of a remnants of a thread in that hole. It's not going to hurt anything. So that'll be good. Next thing we need to do is slice this in half with a slitting saw. Alright, we are excuse me, we are set up with our slitting saw here. Looks visually pleasing. It's about 900 RPMs. Slow and steady wins this race. Well, there we go. They're of course pretty darn hot. Probably should have sprayed some lubricant on that slitting saw, but it always amazes me how well they work. They always have a lot of run out in them, albeit this particular one's pretty darn good. I made the mandrel for it, which is by no means perfect. But it's always kind of amazing how well these things cut. I have no idea if that was the correct speed. Like I said, that was about 900 RPMs. Took me about 4 real minutes to get through that. I don't know if I should have tried to feed through faster or slower, but just kind of go off of sound, and it seems like it does pretty good. They also always make like dust instead of chips, and I don't know, maybe that's because it's spinning too fast. Again, I don't know. I should probably look it up. But I'm going to let this cool down, and then we're going to face this off with the end mill, albeit it looks really good. But it said we were supposed to take off 1/8 of an inch, and we only took off 1/16 or maybe a tiny bit more because of the run out in this saw. This is a 1/16 slitting saw. So we'll let this cool down and we'll be back. So here's where this leaves us. I cleaned up this cap on my surface plate in some 220 emery because it left a bit of a burr in one of the corners from the slitting saw cutting it off. And the plans say, or the drawing says, this part right here is supposed to be 3/16 of an inch thick, and I think the reason why that matters, when we drill the hole in the bottom, then you also use that to reference this hole, because that one needs to visually look good. I'll explain that once I get it flipped over, but to make a long story short, we are currently sitting at 230 thousandths. We need to be 187 thousandths. I'm going to take about 20 thousandths off of this. Once we flip it over to finish this part, we can still machine more off of that back if we need to. I don't want to take too much off, but I'm pretty confident that it's too much currently. I just don't want to overshoot the dimension. And like I said, I'll explain why this dimension is going to matter when we get it flipped over. So let's go ahead and touch off on this and then take 20 thousandths off of it. And I'm going to take this cut in 2 10-thou passes because it's not supported very well. No use overloading the cutter. Just gonna double check this measurement. Yep, we're about 215 right there. So I'm going to take 10 more, and we're going to call that good. Alright, I think that is all we can do in that setup. So we'll tear this down and get set up for the next operations, which is boring the 2 holes in this piece. Got this connecting rod flipped around and pretty well dialed in. I used a gauge pin, got centered up visually on this small end. Now I have the wiggler in here so I can get an accurate point back here. I'm sure you can't see the scribe lines, but I scribed 2 lines on there for, a visual center. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but what is important is the tip of my wiggler is in the groove from splitting this cap. And we can't have too much of the hole on this side or on that side, because if we do, then you won't be able to slide it over the crankshaft. We need the diameter to be equally split on each side. So we're very, very close to that. I think close enough that we're not going to have any problems, and I'm pretty visually pleasing up here. So I kind of went back and forth a little bit here to get us where I think we're going to be good to go. Let me go ahead and get some tooling switched over, and we will get set up and drill and ream this hole, and then drill and ream this hole. So just so you can follow along, I'm not going to talk at all while I get these drilled and reamed, it's a pretty straightforward operation. I'd like to hope at this point in time you've seen me drill and ream enough holes that you understand what's going on. But from this hole to this hole, the dimension is 3 inch 375 thousandths. This one back here gets reamed 375, so 3/8 of an inch, or whatever you made your crankshaft diameter. And then this one up here has a gauge pin, it gets reamed 250. Check and see if the little supplied pin fits in that hole, which that does. It's actually a pretty nice tight fit. And then this hole is 3/8. That's a 3/8 carbide end mill, and that also fits. We can't do anything else with this setup, so unfortunately we're going to have to tear this down, slice with the slitting saw in there, drill and tap the hole, drill and tap a hole for the oiler, and then drill in through the end to meet up with that. And I think that's it for this whole piece. Let me get set up for the next operation and we'll continue on. Oh, actually, I take that back. We need to face these off. We need to remove material off both sides here and both sides here. Let me get set up for that. Glad I didn't tear this down. Okay, like I said, we have to face these off. On the big end, we need to take about 35 thousandths off each side, and on the small end, we need to take about 30 thousandths off of each side. So I've touched off on this end mill, and we'll see how this does. Okay, I'm calling that my 0. I'm touching all the way across now. So like I said, we need to take, on the big end, we need to take 35 thousandths off. We'll probably do that in 2 cuts. There's the big end faced off. Now I think, if I did the math right, if we drop down 122 from here, we should face the small end off to the right spot as well. Okay, so I zeroed on this end, and like I said, I think if we drop down 122 here, we will be right where we want to be. Actually, let's come down and like encounter that. Let me go to the back side. So you can see what I'm doing. So that's down 90, and I wrote down that we need to take 30 thousandths off, so yeah. Let's drop this down to 120. We'll come down to 100 first, and that should be golden. Alrighty, I'm going to flip this over and face them off, face off the opposite sides off camera. You've seen this side and this side, so you really don't need to see the opposing side. It's going to be the exact same process. I have my endpoints because we're going to flip it over. I can just literally cut to the same exact spots, and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get this part finished off. We're going to drill a number 50 drill all the way through. Then we're going to use a 3/32 drill and go 3/16 deep. Tap the bottom half of this hole for 256, and then we're going to use our slitting saw and cut it off. So let's go ahead and speed through this. That's all there is to that. Got a little screw right here, which will drop right in and thread onto that bottom part and hold our pin nice and secure. Let me get flipped around. We have to drill and tap a hole here. I'm actually not even going to show this. We have to drill and tap a hole in here for the oil cup, drill in to intersect that hole from the end, and that'll be the end of this piece. No reason to show that though. It's literally drill and tap a hole and drill a hole. Super, super easy. Just to show you real quick, this is the setup that I just did. Edge finder here and here, edge finder in the middle, get my middle location, drill that hole down through, and whenever I take my little blower and blow through there, I'm getting air out the top. That's the oil inlet for the main bearing of this connecting rod. So that's what I did for the setup right there. Super easy, super straightforward, a 1/16 inch hole down through there. Well, that was fun. Like I said in the beginning of the video, turned out really good. In next week's video, you'll definitely want to come back because we are going to machine the flywheel. This was my favorite piece to machine. It looks really darn good. I'm incredibly happy with how it turned out. And if you're lucky, next week's video, you'll get a little clip of the engine running before we tear it all apart for powder coating. So you'll definitely want to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you remember to come back next week and see the last machining operations for our PM Research PM1 steam engine. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next week in the final video.